Ladies and gents, at long last, I'm finally ready to talk about Mad Max Fury Road. I say at long last because it's taken me a long time. I had to see this movie 3 times because after I saw it the first time, I was like, is this really that good of a movie? Am I really that much in love with this movie? So I had to see it 3 more times, really gather my thoughts about it, and now I can bring them to you guys. Having said that, I do really want to talk about this movie, and I assume a lot of you guys, you movie fans out there, have seen it. So I am going to get a little into spoilers. But before you leave, if you haven't seen it yet, I do want to say, see it. I've been encountering a lot of people on the street who say, oh, I don't know. I haven't seen the other Mad Max movies. Doesn't matter. None of them are connected. Might help a little bit. You might appreciate some things more. But overall, you can go into this movie totally fresh and have an awesome time. And that's cool. Mad Max was a great feeling for me. Guys, you know me. I talk and I get excited about things a lot. I see Avengers, I see Spider-Man. Those movies bring me great joy, really great excitement, things that I really love, things that just come out of me that I just get so excited about. Also, if I see a really good drama with really good emotion, I get feelings. But I don't see action movies nowadays that really make me freak out. Mad Max brought that back. Mad Max actually made me feel like a kid. I felt like a kid. I had so much fun. And of course, a lot of times in these reviews when I talk about things I like, fun is the word that I use the most, but it's fucking fun. It's so good. It's so good. Mad Max Fury Road really raises things up to the next level, and it's so good. It looks gorgeous. It's so much fun. It's kind of epic. It's gory. It's a little foreboding and mysterious. It's endlessly rewatchable. It's paced at a breakneck speed. I can't get enough of it. I really do have to say that I like the breakneck pacing of the movie so much. This movie actually is one long chase scene. And granted, there are a few parts that slow down. They have to develop some things, but these happen so quick and happen so perfectly that it just keeps going. It just keeps going and it doesn't stop. And you better hold the fuck on. And it really makes me very happy. And now some people have said oh, the characters were good, but there could have been more characterization. For me, I think Mad Max in its entirety is just beauty and simplicity. I think it all works so effectively in how simply everything is presented to you. The story is so simple. The world is perceived as very simple, but if you want to dig deeper and if you really want to pick apart what they say, you can get more out of that. And the characters are very simple, but you can tell so much by what few things they say and through their eyes, and that's awesome. Especially Max, even though he's not really the main character at all. I love his arc, how he starts out and he's been wandering and surviving for so long with his car and just being a loner that he kind of went crazy. He's got long hair, he's fucking eating lizards in the desert and shit. And then after that, when he has the cage on his face, he is very much like a dog with a muzzle. He's got that survival instinct, but he is just such a man of pure action and force that he's still really scary, but in a different way. And then once the mask comes off, he finally starts to become a person. And it's really cool. You can actually kind of get a sense for how he used to be through his actions now and the few things that he does say. It's really enjoyable. And I think a lot of it not only is presented that way, but also in his voice. In the beginning, it's dark, foreboding, evil voiceovers that sound like Bane. And then after a while, it's just him grunting and mumbling and a smirk here and there. And then towards the end, he's having conversations, very simple conversations, but you can tell that he's a smart guy. He's sharp. He plans. He's not all there. He's experiencing grief. He's living with grief, as is almost everyone else in that world. Speaking of the world, oh, awesome. It's so fleshed out. It's so cool. They have so many cool ideas. It's so video gamey, but it's awesome. Immortan Joe is a great villain. He's just terrifying. There's not much to him. All right, I'll say that. But he's just so scary looking, and his voice it booms, and it's great. Also, I really love the things about this movie is that it takes a lot from 80s action movies, and that it's kind of grotesque. It's really gross. There's really weird, creepy people designs here. There's that creepy little midget guy. That's what he looks like in real life. I don't mean to offend him. There's also the big man who likes to drink the milk. Immortan Joe is pretty creepy himself. It's fucking well realized and really cool and just And of course, I do really appreciate all the practical stuff, all the real special effects that they used, all the car design. I loved looking at all these cars that they hacked together and welded together. I think it all looked really great. They did a really good job of making the world, the clothing, the costumes, everything looking intensely lived in. Nothing looks like a prop. But that action, man, that action is good because there's no shaky cam. Now, look, I'm not a filmmaker. I don't even want to be one. I like to just come and talk about movies that I like with you guys. So I'm not going to say the cinematography is amazing, but I'll say what I can say is that it was bright and sharp and it looked really cool, and the action you could follow. And that was awesome, especially when all that honestly relentless action kicks up and the music swells because it's that orchestral score, and it's so fucking good. It's a really, really great score. I downloaded what I could of it, and I'm listening to it all the time. It makes me drive really fast, but it's so exciting, and it really ramps up the movie so much. The music really adds to this sense of like high, awesome action, but also the sense of foreboding. It really makes the villains feel villainous. It really makes the world feel evil. It really makes the situations feel terrible and desperate. And it all just works so well. It's like a perfect package. This entire movie, the director, George Miller, you could tell he paid attention to detail. He has all these things. He has a man with a guitar hanging from a bungee cord with a fucking flamethrower on his guitar. It's a perfect example of three things that I really like. Simplicity in movie making and storytelling. World building and characterization and stuff through show, not tell. And action that actually tires you out. Like, you get tired watching the movie, just keeping up with this action. And that's where I think the movie succeeds. Also, of course, the plot points, Charlize Theron ended up being kind of the main hero. It was all really great. It all worked out. And the ending was satisfying. The way it wrapped up, it was very cool. It was like, all right, off to another adventure. Having said that, I'm pretty okay with this movie never getting a sequel. I would love this to be the final Mad Max movie. It probably won't. But hey, I could dream. This movie was such a miracle. Can they do that again? I have no idea. I could kind of think of where the sequel could go. One thing I didn't really like is that Mad Max wasn't really a man in a car in this one. And that's fine. It was different. But, his car was there and it didn't really get used. So I'm hoping, maybe if they do make another one, maybe it's Mad Max, the quest to get a new car. But wow, look at the time. I could go on and on about Mad Max Fury Road. It's so good. If you did watch this, despite me talking about all the spoilers and you haven't seen the movie, you should definitely go see it right away. What are you doing? But anyway, I just threw a lot of words at you guys. So I want to know what you guys think. I love hearing what you guys have to say. I live for this shit. I live talking to you guys on Twitter and in the comments and stuff like that. So let's definitely have a chat. But that's it for me, guys. As always, I'm Jake Baldino. You can like me on Facebook, you can yell at me on Twitter, and you can subscribe because video games.